frantic running upstairs, I could not find the password, and I would have been able to avoid this. So I apologize, you guys. So Carlita, if you want to go ahead and mute all lines, that'd be awesome.
I muted everybody and we are recording.
Okay, perfect. Awesome, you guys. Well, I am so excited to be with you guys here tonight on November 1st. I love it when we have a call on November 1st, don't you guys? Because the beginning of a new month is just fresh beginning. There's so many things that go with it. Not only that, it's, you know, this time of the year is always fun. You guys, I actually have promoted to regional vice president and national vice president this time of the year. And believe it or not, today, I will never forget waking up 12 years ago on November 1st as a new national vice president. So today is my 12-year anniversary for promoting to national vice president. So you guys, this is a great time of the year. I promoted to regional vice president on December 1st. So many fun and amazing things. And I know a lot of my sideline sisters and people in my success line also promoted to the VP level this time of the year too. So lots of great things happening in Arbonne. Okay, guys, I don't want to spend too much of our call tonight talking about all the updates that we had today. And I know that every MVP who participates in this call has done their due diligence today and going live or sharing the information with their team. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about those announcements. My suggestion is if you don't know about the new announcements that have to do with the preferred client program, host rewards, when a new consultant signs up with a $500 order, they get free shipping. Then go onto your Nation Facebook page or actually your Voxer group, whatever it is and how your MVP communicates with you guys, and you'll find all those detailed information. Another great place to go is the source because it's all outlined on the source as well. So we have lots of exciting things and updates with our preferred clients, you guys. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on that because I've got lots of stuff to cover tonight. But we have a really fun new announcement, which was a surprise. All the MVPs knew about the preferred client changes and enhancements to that program, which I'm so excited about. But we had a surprise announcement today that we didn't even know about. And that some of you might not even know about this yet, but we have a bonus month to go towards the 2018 AIT trip, which you guys is so exciting. So all we have to do this month is sponsor at least one new PC and or consultant that has a $250 order. And guess what? Our PQV, our entire PQV for the month of November will go towards our December QV and then get doubled towards the trip. So that's never been done before in the history of my business. Yeah, Daniel, I see you screaming and shouting. That's never been done before in the history of my business. I've never seen them do something like this. I love the strategy. I'm so excited. So guys, this is the time. It couldn't be a perfect timing for an announcement like that to be on November 1st and for us to have a call like this tonight because I can't wait to share what I have to share with you. But so many amazing things happening, and we have so much to go for that. So that's that new PC and or consultant with a $250 order, you guys, is going to get you that extra bonus PQV towards the trip. Now, we were on this trip a couple of weeks ago, you guys, and talking with the events department, they basically told us that Shane is the guy who has been with Arbonne for like 20 years, and he has, gosh, he's planned every trip, just about every trip that's out there. And he loves planning these trips. Like, it's one of his favorite things to do is to try and outdo himself every single year. Well, what we heard from the events department was that he outdid himself this year for 2018. And he said that it's the best darn trip he's ever planned in the history of him working for Arbonne, which has been over 20 years. So with that being said, let's talk about how we can like knock it out of the park. Go Dodgers, just kidding. Knock it out of the park for the next 90 days, because you guys, building an incredible holiday season and taking advantage of all the perks that Arbonne has isn't just a 1 month thing. When we work to build our business the way it's meant to be, we're going to see some 90-day growth, and that's our goal, right? I hope you have all picked out your white dress for the Pure Vibe party in Las Vegas, and because that's something you want to envision, and you want to envision yourself walking across the stage in Las Vegas. And for some of you who haven't even been to our amazing GTC yet, first of all, you have to register. So you got to make sure you get your registration in, because you don't want to be promoting to area or region by then and not have a spot at Las Vegas. So you want to make sure you do that. But this all starts with having a plan. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, is what it means to have a plan and really what goal setting is all about, you guys. Now, hopefully you guys might have just recently seen, this is what our book for the month is, or suggested book of the month is Eat That Frog. And you know what? I thought I had read this book before, but I have not read this book before. And it's amazing. Like, it's such a quick read. I think like if I had an hour and a half more to read, I would have gotten it done. And I was just eating it all up and marking it all up. It's such a good book. It's by Brian Tracy. So I hope you guys take advantage of getting that on Amazon. But you're going to hear us pull different things throughout the month from this. But I love what he says in this book. He said, goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. Goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. And I want to read just really quickly from page 3 in this book. I just didn't want to miss out and try to say it in my own words. This is what he says. Successful, effective people are those who launch directly into their major tasks and then discipline themselves to work steadily and single-mindedly until those tasks are complete. Failure to execute is one of the biggest problems in organizations today because many people confuse activity with accomplishment. They talk continuously, hold endless meetings, make wonderful plans, but in the final analysis, no one does the job and gets the results that's required. So guys, successful, effective people are those who launch directly into their major tasks and discipline themselves to work steadily and single-mindedly until those tasks are completed. Now, some of you have probably seen people come into this business and maybe they've been in the business the same amount of time as you, but they're at a whole nother level than where you're at in your business. Maybe they've sponsored more people, whatever it might be. And it gets real easy. We can fall into that trap of comparison and look at that person and go, oh, gosh, well, this just isn't fair. They got lucky or this or that. And we start using those types of terms when what really, you guys, that person probably just has a skill set when it comes to discipline. And it's great for us to set goals, but then we have to have discipline to execute them on a daily basis. So what I want to show you guys to do tonight is how to have some rock solid goals right now and then execute them every single day so that you see a beginning of a tidal wave of momentum for your business. And guess where that's going to take you in 90 days to every place that you want to be. Because I could spend a long time here talking about holiday this and holiday that, but you guys, you know what? It's still the same activity. It really is just deciding to get ourselves into activity, and that makes all the difference in the world. I like this other quote that I read in his book too by Napoleon Hill, and if you've never read Think and Grow Rich, I think that's what it's called. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a good one. There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, the knowledge of what one wants and a burning desire to achieve it, by Napoleon Hill. So I'm going to give you guys a few points. So first thing we need to do in writing down our goals for what we want to accomplish is we've got to declare it. You need to write down what it is that you want to accomplish. We've got to declare it to the world. We got to declare it to ourselves. We need to have it visual, you guys. I want to encourage you to get your family involved. I find a lot of times people they kind of keep their family out of their Arbonne business. And you guys, that's when family gets resentful of Arbonne. I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, when I'm talking to someone who is like an unsupportive spouse, I find out that that spouse has never asked the other spouse, hey, what would you like to get out of this business? Or what if we're making $25,000 a month in Arbonne? What are we going to do with that? They never get the family involved. So I always encourage people to start, create little incremental goals. If you're a consultant, create a goal when you promote to district manager that you're going to take your family out on a special dinner. Have everybody in your family write a name of their favorite restaurant, and you're going to put it in a hat. And on that day, your promotion, you get to pull that name out of the hat, and that's where you guys are going to dinner that night. For area manager, create a one-day special event. Maybe it's Disney. Well, Disney for some of us, or whatever amusement park, or maybe it's just something fun. Let the kids pick what their favorite place they like to go for a day and put it in a hat, same thing, and on that area promotion, pull it out. You guys, that gets your family involved, but it also helps hold you accountable. I will say that my biggest cheerleaders through the toughest time of my business, I've had lots of tough times in my business, but as I was going to Region and Nation, the toughest time in my business, my kids were my biggest cheerleaders. I'll never forget, my oldest son was really struggling in school, and he was just really having a hard time. And we were talking. He's like, Mom, please homeschool me. And I had to. It was so heartbreaking for me. But I said, Caleb, I just know this is what God wants us to do. And I said, did you know it's really hard to do Arbonne? He goes, really? Why is it hard to do Arbonne? And I said, well, people make fun of me. I mean, I was a struggling area manager. All my Oklahoma team had quit on me. Like, I was like really down in the dumps. people make fun of me. People will book a party, then they cancel, and people don't show up. People quit. And he's like, gosh, I had no idea. And I said, yeah, it's really hard. I said, I tell you what, if you decide to move forward, I will too, and we could support each other. And he was my biggest cheerleader during that time, because he's like, Mom, you have to get the Mercedes. And so I know that that was probably all he was thinking about at that moment, but it doesn't matter. My family has always been involved in my business with visions and goals, and now they're creating their own because they're all now old enough to do that. So declare it and get your family involved. And I would suggest for the RVP level that you plan a weekend somewhere. And then once you go nation, guess what? Arbonne's going to send you to Hawaii and they'll pay for it. So that's a great goal to have, but I encourage you to get them involved. You guys, I want to encourage you to post it everywhere. Oh, it's not in here right now because it's in the other room. But I have one of those big white like Post-it pads, you know, where you can take it off and then like it'll stick to the wall. Like I had started getting my youngest son to post and plan his goals like that too. And that's what I do as well. So I want to encourage you that wherever you see, you need to be able to see your goal big. So if your goal is area manager by January 1st, like decide tonight, what do I want to be recognized on January 1st of 2018? What do I want to be recognized on December 1st of 2017? And then go on into February 1st, because that's what we want to work on. We're working on building November, December, and January. So write down on each one of those dates what you want to be recognized as. It might be in qualification, it might be halfway to something, but what is it, you guys? And you need to have those things written down. I got to tell you, one thing that he says in this book is he's like, you always got to think on paper. Now, how many of us have sponsored somebody and they just get overwhelmed? I just can't make it work. And you know what? I always ask, I'm like, gosh, let's put this on paper. And they're like, oh, because guess what? If we keep everything in this thing, you guys, I would be in a world of hurt if I had to rely on just this and not paper and lists and schedules and a calendar. Like I cannot do my business on a phone calendar. I have to have a paper calendar. I like to be able to see it. So he says, think on paper. You guys, unwritten goals lead to confusion, vagueness, misdirection, and numerous mistakes. That's crazy, but it's so true. And I'm going to tell you guys a short little story about the study that was done at Harvard. They did a study on grad students. So these are smart folks that have gone to continued education and they're at Harvard. So I would say they're pretty smart. They did a study of who goal set. So 3% of these grad students had written down goals, you guys. 13% of them had goals in their head. Like, oh yeah, I want to accomplish such and such. 84% of them had zero goals, you guys, nothing written down. And they're like, yeah, we get out of grad school. What the heck? Whatever happens, happens, right? Then they went and they followed up with these folks 10 years later, you guys. I'm sure all of you kind of can imagine what the difference is going to be, but it's crazy, the results. So 10 years later, guess what? The 13%, the ones who had goals, they at least had goals in their head, made 2 times more than the 84% that had zero goals. But guess how much the 3% made? They made 10 times more than the entire 97% put together. All they did differently, you guys, was write down a goal. Now, there was a whole lot of discipline that followed that, but that's at least a step. And I talk to too many people these days who are scared to write down a goal. What if I don't achieve it? That's okay. The good thing is we come back and we try again and we try again and we evaluate and we ask, hey, what could I do different? Because that's what people who get it done do, you guys. It's called daily discipline. It's called evaluation. It's key in our growth in this business. So you want to write it down, think on paper. Number 4, you guys, you want to plan it. You know, decide tonight. I want to challenge every single one of you to send a text out. I don't care if you send it out while I'm talking right now with your upline, VP, area manager, whatever, and say, I want to goal set. When can I chat with you in the next 48 hours? It doesn't take 10, 15 minutes, you guys, but send that message out so that you have another set of eyes to help you plan it. you guys, as you're planning it too, you want to get your calendar out. And I want to encourage you guys, have your November and December and even January calendar already filled in. And what you want to do is for November, the month of November and into December, because we have a lot of things happening, right, during this time of the year. Just remember, you guys, because I know sometimes people freak out about the holiday season. These are my biggest months of the year every single year, are the November and December months. And it's also Arbonne's biggest quarter of the year, but it's also every retail establishment out there's biggest quarter of the year, you guys. Everybody is shopping. And when we have that kind of mindset, oh, everybody's shopping, why not buy from me? Instead of having the mindset of, oh, it's the holidays, who's going to do anything? Then we need to realize people are in a party mindset, they're in a gathering mindset, they're in a shopping mindset, so it all benefits what we have, but we have something better than what they're going out there to buy. They can shop from us and avoid the parking lots. They can shop from us and get great products to set them up for the new year as they start their detox. They can shop from us to get great products. You guys, there's so many benefits to that. So I want to encourage you to change your mindset. If you're seeing this like, oh, November, December, who's going to do this business? That's where you've got to change your mindset. Here's another thing you guys need to remember. And next week, we're going to be talking about, how to build that dream team and prospecting out and about in all different places. But remember, guys, there are a lot of people out there right now who are struggling with the thought process of how much debt they're going to go into by buying Christmas presents. There's a lot of people who are like, just would love to make an extra $500. Well, guess what we can do? We can teach those folks how to make a December paycheck. So when you're chatting with folks, hey, would you like me to show you how you can make at least a $500 paycheck for the month of December that's going to arrive in your bank account around the 10th or the 11th of December? You know what? If anything, maybe they'll at least sit down and listen, because who says no to that? Hey, would you say no to an extra $500 right before Christmas? No. Well, would you mind sitting down with me? I'd love to show you how. But here's the thing, guys. We can teach people how to make an extra $1,000 to get in the month of December. Because if somebody wants to get a full calendar and applies our recipe for success, they can get a nice paycheck in the month of December. You guys, that should be fuel underneath us, because there's a lot of folks out there that are looking for ways to stay out of debt during the holiday season, you guys, and we can make that happen for them. But as you plan your calendar, because this is part of goal setting, is to be prepared, you guys. Too many of us aren't prepared. We're not prepared for success. We're sitting on the couch waiting for someone to knock on our door when we need to be out there planting seeds. So part of preparation is, I love what Dana Kinsella says. She says, I like to look and I highlight every available time slot I have, not just evening. Every available time slot that I have in my calendar is highlighted. And my goal, and I saw her goal this morning in our group, she says, my goal is first step region and filling every available time slot I have on my calendar to make that happen. So make sure you have every available time slot written out. And then our next goal with that is to actually fill it. I got to share this story with you, and Dana got it from someone else, but I love this because a big part of us activating what we need to do during these times is we are a little bit busier during this time of the year, right? But when we work Arbonne like we work our job, we just, we find a way to make it happen, right? But one thing that she had heard from somebody that I love was, and some of you don't have kids yet, so this might be a little hard to understand, but I remember when I had Caleb, I adapted pretty fast to having a kid. And then when Samantha came along, I'm like, oh, it took a little bit of time to adapt to having a second kid. And then Nathan came along and I had to figure out how to adapt to having that third kid, and they were all really close in age. And then Benny came along and I honestly never adapted. I threw my hands up in the air and went, oh, no, I'm just kidding. But it was really hard getting to the number 4. But I made a way and found a way to fit it in. Well, building a business is a lot like that, right? We're adding this into our life that's already got some pretty busy spots. But what did we do as we kept having kids? We might have pulled ourselves out of certain things and figured out a way to make it happen. This is no different. And I will say to you guys that that's a part of what I said earlier. It's that discipline. People who are disciplined in their mind, they just find a way to make it happen, you guys. And that's the truth of it. If we have a cancellation, we fill it. If we have somebody that says they don't want to do the business, we don't cry for 3 days. We just go, that's okay, because there's somebody else out there who does. I mean, it's just a part of a different shift in our mindset, you guys. And I promise you, like, I just want every single one of you to be on that trip with me next October. And I promise you that when we apply these tiny little shifts, these tiny little principles that will create a shift in our hearts and our minds and how we see things, you guys, nothing but good comes on the other side. But that leads into my next point, and I'm going to wrap it up, is be prepared for opposition. So we're going to declare it, get our family involved, we're going to post it, write it up, make sure we see it on paper, we're going to plan it, but I want you guys to be prepared for opposition. There is no such thing as a good thing happening in our life without opposition. So you guys, I want you to know, I'm telling you, maybe this is the first time you heard it, which I know it's not, because I know all the leaders on this call and we always speak truth. You will have opposition in this business. We are doing an amazing thing in this business. Think about it, guys. We're helping people believe in themselves. We're helping people see bigger than they've ever seen in their life for themselves. We're helping people make an extra $500 a month that keeps them out of bankruptcy. I could go on and on and on about the incredible, noble things that we get to do in this business. We will have opposition to stop us in our tracks. So what do? I've been studying the book of Nehemiah with a group of women and at our church, and Terry Fisher's in it with me as well, and Megan Ritter, and it's so good because Nehemiah was such a smart leader. He's like, they had all kinds of opposition. They had people telling them they were crazy, people threatening to kill them if they kept building the wall, and he taught the people how to continue building with a hammer and a sword in the other hand. So they continued to build, but they were on the offense and the defense. Guys, if you just remember that it's normal that people are going to laugh at you and they're going to reject you and you're going to do all those crazy things. Hey, that's normal. That's that opposition Beth was talking about. That's okay. I'm going to still blaze a trail, and I'm not going to let that sideline me, because I would have to say that if we had everybody on here got an opportunity to share, we would hear from every single person, that anybody that we've had sponsored into our business who maybe, doing really well, and then all of a sudden we don't hear from them, and it's like we're calling and it's like, gosh, did they die? I don't know what happened. And then I'm leaving that voicemail, hey, I really just want to make sure you're okay and not sick, and because they've gone dark on me. And I will tell you, almost every single time that opposition hit them like a wall, and they didn't know what to do, because for some crazy reason, you guys, people join our business and they think everything's going to fall into place and 10 parties are going to get booked easy peasy and nobody is going to say no. And this is our job as a sponsor, to show people that, hey, sometimes that does happen. Like, I have had people, you guys, who call the first 10 people and they say yes. I have had that happen. It's very rare, but I have had it happen. So it is possible, but it's also important that we help people beyond the opposition. So as you guys set out your 90-day plan and working for November, December, and January, just know that something's going to happen. It could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, to cause you to go, oh, did I really need that? And this is what I want you to ask yourselves. When you hit that moment, say, what else can give me what I need? What else? Is there something else out there that can give you $50,000 a month working part-time? Maybe. If there is, go for it. I don't know of anything else that can do that, you guys. I even break it down to $5,000 a month working part-time with all the perks that we get, and you get to teach and train others to do it too. So guys, just remember, be prepared for opposition. And I will go to this book really quick as I close. Eat the frog first. I don't like frogs. My mom loves frog legs. I don't like frog legs. Well, so far I've been on a plant-based diet since the end of June, so I wouldn't eat frog legs anyway, but she always tells me everything tastes like chicken. And she told me that with liver, because she loves liver. And I'm like, that doesn't taste like chicken, Mom. So eat the frog first. And basically what the title of that book means is eat the hard thing first. And when we learn to do that with our daily plan, and we bite off, because I know it's so easy, you won't ever find on my daily to-do list, organize your office. And if you were to come to my home, you would see big piles of disorganized things. So that is not a priority for me, to make sure that everything looks perfect in my office or where my Arbonne stuff is. The things that are a priority to me are new business partners and new activity. Okay, so Those are the hard things. And sure, it's tempting to kind of go sit over here and kind of mess around with a new invitation or this or that, but that's not going to get me where I need to go. People who get things done, they bite off the hard thing first, the gross part. So like if you're a pie eater, it's like that one guy says, he likes to eat the crust first because it's his least favorite part of the pie, but he's like, ooh, yum, I get this. I'm like that with food. I do the same thing. If there's something that's super yummy, I leave the yummiest part for the end. So that's what you want to do, you guys. And then my last step as I close this out, you guys, is just action. I want to challenge all of us to create a deadline for activity this month. Our goal should be to get in front of, I'm not even going to say 40. I'm going to say 60. And I know some of you are like, excuse me, Beth, I'm really working on the 30. I want to challenge everybody to double down on the 30 and to go for something bigger, because we have many facets of activity, you guys. There are so many things that we can do during the month of November and December as activity. We have our healthy living presentations, one-on-ones. We have our spa presentations. We have so many things. And you guys, I will say in the area that I lived in, Fresno, I'm not sure what it's like here. I'll have to ask around. But in Fresno, the whole week of Thanksgiving, all of the schools there get the whole week off. And so what we've done a lot is we have a lot of school teachers and educators in that industry that book parties that week. I remember we had a gal who had like 8 parties the month of Thanksgiving because she had doubled up. She was a principal and had like 2 on every day, not on Thursday, but she had 2 on every day, every other day. Some of my biggest presentations are the weekend after Thanksgiving because I do some really great specials. So just decide that all forms of activities between one-on-ones and presentations and launching new people, that we want to fill up every available time slot. Set a deadline, you guys, because I work well with deadlines. What is something you like to have all the time? Take it away from yourself and don't allow yourself to have it or be, blessed with that until you see at least 10 group presentations, and I would even say 10 more one-on-ones on top of that to achieve what we want to achieve. We want to get a huge head start into the month of November because it's going to roll. Activity in November builds December. And activity in December rolls into January, and it just continues. And but you guys, that's what I had to share with you guys. I just want to challenge you: eat that frog, eat the hard stuff first, and just set in your mind, send that text to your upline, you guys. Get that activity going, that plan started, and I promise you guys, it'll make all the difference in the world. It's the daily discipline that makes our business work. And if you get overwhelmed by the bigger goal, I still want you to write the bigger goals down, but you can work backwards from the bigger goal. Break that bigger goal from the next couple of months down into incremental goals. And I will tell you, the bigger goals happen when we work today. If you work only 1 day a week Arbonne and focus that on that 1 day a week, you're going to feel frazzled. But when we do a little bit every day for our Arbonne business, you'll be blown away what happens in 90 days. Thanks, you guys. Make it a great November, and happy November 1st. We love you all. Oh, and we have a special announcement coming on November 3rd, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Some of you might already know, but I'm not going to say. Sorry.